It's March 22nd, 2023. My name is Paul Freed. I am the lead trainer at JMC. I was with JMC for 17 years. I used to be a teacher up in the Twin Cities. I'm joined by Sherry Phillips. Sherry, do you want to just at least say hello and tell us where you're at and what the weather's like today?
Absolutely. I am Sherry. I am actually in the lovely city of Racine, nestled right between Milwaukee and Chicago. Yep. And I've been with Paul now, gosh, a year, Paul. Happy to
Yep,
be here. And
absolutely.
yeah, that's me. Love James.
Sherry heads up our new school onboarding team. And I'm sitting here in southeastern Minnesota. Still a lot of snow on the ground. My goats and llamas still won't on our little farm here won't go out too far because they don't like to get their feet too cold. But here we go. Teachers are tasked with so much database design, making, and reporting. They need tools to save time and give them information they need quickly. With JMC Teacher, generate flexible student lists and reports with just a few clicks. Here's what's on the agenda: create student lists in JMC Teacher and exploring reports in JMC Teacher. This video is meant to be a resource, especially for office people to share with your teachers, or as a teaching coach or whatever you might be a lead teacher at your school. Send this to your teachers because this is a powerful tool, this student list feature. And then we'll look at the reports over as well. That way teachers can create their own reports instead of having to ask the office or another person to do it for them. Let's get right into it. If you have any questions, you can ask them throughout with your Q&A chat feature. We'll answer them at the end of each section. Create a student data list in JMC Teacher. Now, this student data list is very, very similar. The functionality is exactly the same as it is in the Office program. We just don't have as many fields to pick from because teachers are accessing a limited number of fields, where an Office user with administrative access to JMC can look at any field. But we have the fields in there that we believe teachers want to access. Student lists in JMC Teacher makes it easy to create custom lists and reports quickly and efficiently. With a few clicks of the mouse, you can create a list of students by birthday, primary contacts, busing information, or any other criteria that's important to you. Additionally, you can easily sort and filter your list to display the information that you need. Once you've created your list, you can print or export it for easy viewing and sharing. To start creating a student data list, log into JMC Teacher and navigate to Reports to Student List. Under Reports to Student List. Step 1, click the plus icon here in the step 1 column. So step 1 says, what do you want on the report? We're choosing what we want on the report. You're going to click the pluses here to open these disclosure items. Step 2, click the data items within the category to select for your report. So I click on one, it'll move over to this area here, as I'll show you in the live look in just a couple minutes. Helpful tip: reorganize your list by dragging and dropping your selections, or use the arrow to move the selected items. So click one here and use these arrow items here. I'll show you that in just a moment here. You can remove an item by clicking the X to delete it off there, because you might add 10 items in and then say, oh, I want to reorganize them or delete an item. You can do that right in here. Step 3, select the ranges from the drop-down list in the Step 2 column to choose a range from a category item, or select random to select specific students to include in the report. So I'll show you this in a minute. The Step 2 says, who do you want? It's going to default in the range to everybody that you have in your classes, and I'll show that in just a moment. You can narrow that range. You can say, you know what, I only want 5th graders, or I only want this particular course, or I only want females. I'll show you how to do that in just a moment as well. Helpful tip: click the add link when choosing a range of students to specify the range including the report. So right now, when you go, the default will say step 2, who do you want in the report? It'll say ranges, include my students only. That's the default. I can add in another filter, if you will, to say I want only grade 5 to 5, or grade 7 to 7, or grade female to female, or whatever that might be as you move forward. All right, optional steps here. Step 4, you can click the plus icon next to the ranges category to display a list of the data items that are available to be added in the selection range here, okay? So this is explaining what I was telling you before. So you can come in here and choose, I don't know, if I'm gonna choose grade level here, I chose grade, it'll allow the grade levels here. Step 5, finish the range by selecting the bottom and top level of the range in the from and to drop-down list. Step 6, click the OK button. Now, you don't have to go in and add in these ranges. It's only if you wanna narrow the field and who you wanna see. All right, repeat or remove. Repeat steps 3 through 6 to add more than one search range to the export. For example, grades 3 through 6 and last names M through Z. That's what we have here. That just shows the power of it, right? What I want to have listed here as well. And you can highlight the range and click the remove to remove one here. I say, oh, you know, I don't want this. This says K 8 through 12. I don't want that. I want grade 3 through 6. I can click on that, remove it, or I can edit it. Now we're going to go to step 3 in a moment, which is who or how do you want the report sorted? You'll see. So you'll select the appropriate status from the, before that, active status drop-down list to narrow your report to include my students only or include active students only. So my students only is going to be just students I have enrolled as my students in courses. If I do active students, it would be anybody in the school. All right, step 8 is click the add link from the step 3 column to choose the order of individual data items within the report that are sorted. How do we want the report sorted? It defaults to alphabetical. If I click that there, if I come here, I say, well, I want to add one in or I want to edit this one, it'll bring up this dialog box here and says, you can click the plus icon next to the sortable category and click the data item to sort by specified data item. So the most common here people might say is, I want to sort by birth date, right? And I'll show you how to do that in just a moment as well. Fun fact, if the name, grade, and bus number items are selected in step 1, the report will display the name, grade, and bus number columns left to right. That's just telling you how it's displayed there. If you choose to sort by bus number in step 3, the student list will be organized top to bottom by bus number. So a lot of really flexible items there. Step 10, click the preview button to view a report of data items selected in step 1 right here. Okay. Students selected in step 2 and sorted by 3. So again, what do I want listed? Who do I want? And how do I want it sorted? It's actually even, I think this is one of the parts of JMC where it's even easier to show it in a live look at the steps, but we want to lay them out for you here listed as well. Step 11, you can print the data. You can export it, open it up in Google Docs or open it in a spreadsheet, or create labels if you want to there as well. Helpful tip, place a check mark in the number items checkbox to show a number beside each row of data for a quick way to see the number of results from your query if you want like a number of students there. Fun fact, change your mind, want to start over, click the clear selected button to clear your search query. And you can now save that report as well. Enter a name of the report in the save report as field and click the save button to reference the report in the future, and you can access them here through your reports item that's listed there. Prepare for the upcoming school year by creating and saving several reports over summer break. Then run the saved reports as needed throughout the school year because it will always pull that most current data. Let's take a live look. Like I said, I'm going to give you an overview again, and then I'll show you how it's done. So here I am in the JMC teacher. Go under reports, down to student lists, reports to student lists. We asked you 3 questions. What do you want on the report? What items do I want printed? Step 2, who do I want on the report? It defaults to my students. Step 3, how do I want the report sorted? It defaults to alphabetical. So if I want a birthday list, right, I come and say, all right, I have these common items. So common are just common ones you would choose. Name, grade, and birthday. We're going to do month, day, year. And then we have these other items here. You can do what activities are they in? What's their attendance? Days absent, days tardy. Their primary contact information, their phone number, whatever might be there. Maybe you want to email the parents on the kid's birthday. So I come here and say, all right, I want their email 1 and their email 2. Of course, I'm just making this up just to kind of show you. And then there's custom fields, which that's information collected during online registration, digital equity, GPA, internal data, period attendance. Here's the general. This has more items here. There's some common items in here like the name, grade, birthday, but there's lots of items here, class rank or name or their password or their student ID or something like that as well. So if I came in here and I just did this, so what I want in the report and I click preview, this is going to show me the name, grade, birth date, and emails for all of my students sorted alphabetically. I'm going to show you right down here. I click preview there, and there they are. This is demo data, so I don't have birth dates for all my kids or emails for all the parents, but that's all the items that are listed right there alphabetically. You'll say, well, that's not really helpful for me. Okay, I only want my high school students. So I'm going to say, I want all my students. I'm going to add in a filter, and I'm going to choose common again. I'm going to do grade, and I'm going to do from grade 9 to grade 12 and click OK. So before I click preview, you'll see it's got 3rd graders, kindergarten 1st, kindergarten 12th, and so on. Now I'm going to preview this again because I'm going to say I want all these items here for all my active students from grade 9 to 12. I'm going to preview this, and you're going to see now I've got 10th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th. Great. You're like, oh, great report. Still not quite helpful because all the kids are intermixed by birth date. So you come here, how do I want the report sorted? This is a really powerful item. You could actually export this to a spreadsheet and sort it any way you want. I find it easier to export it right inside JMC. So I'm gonna say, I don't want it sorted by alphabetically. So I'm gonna go to the name, I'm gonna edit this one. I can't remove the first one, I can only edit the first one. I'm gonna edit it and say, I don't want it done by name. I want it done by birth date, month, day, year. There we go, and click OK. And now you'll see when I preview it, and I can't remember if it's gonna have the kids with no birth date or not first, but by virtue of you being a school, you're gonna have birth dates in for every kid. You'll need it for state reporting and things like that. But I'm gonna preview it here. There we go. It's gonna put them at the bottom. Yours would look like this. Here we go. Here's April 16th, May 14th, and September 21st, right? All of them are listed there, but all your kids would have birth dates. So you can see in a matter of, oh, I don't know, a minute, you can come and say, here's all those kids, here's all the fields I want. Here's how I want it sorted. But a lot of times you're not even going to sort it by grade level. You'll do all my kids, and I'm going to sort by birth date, preview. I can now export that to a spreadsheet. I can print a label. I can number items. That's what it said before. Click number, and I can preview that, and that will number them. There we go. I've got 15 kids that meet that search criteria. And I was showing you before, you can also move these things. Maybe like, you know what, I don't want the grade. I want the birth date here. So I'm going to move that birth date. I can actually drag and drop it up there. And maybe I want the email. You can drag and drop, or I can move this little arrow up here, and we'll have their grade level go last. So you see how it's name, birth date, email, grade level. That's different than I have here. I'm going to click preview. There we go. Name, birth date, email, grade level. So really easy to come in. And now I can come in. I'm going to put a name, save my report. This is my birthday list. And I'm going to save that. So the next time I come in, okay, I'm going to come back to reports to student lists. I can come and do a new report where I can say, oh, here's my birthday list. All the fields are there. I could sure change them if I want. I'm not going to change them, but you can preview. And now I can see it, print it, export it, or create labels or number items, whatever you want. So really, it's a powerful report generator for you in the JMC Teacher. So let's see if there's any questions. See if Rachel has any questions. Rachel also is another person who's joined us brand new to JMC, or Sherry, or any of our teams. So Sherry, Rachel, did any of you have any questions about this, or did I kind of wrap it up in a nice bow for you?
There are no questions right now. I don't have anything, but what I think Office users should see is how similar this is to the Office student list, and that's on purpose, right? For the functionality
Absolutely.
use.
Yep.
They just have some less fields to choose from, but I love this tool. That's all I've got to say. I love it.
Yeah, for teachers, there's like 20 predetermined reports in JMC. For Office people, I'm going to run to the JMC Office program. So I'm in the office, not the teacher. Attendance, student, list. This again is your custom report generator. They just have more fields here. They have immunizations and their medically emergency plan and their special ed information and their enrollment history, right? All that is listed there as well. Title I information and so on. And so it's very similar to do exactly the same thing. It's a really powerful tool to create those reports for you. So that's a great point. All right, I don't see any questions. So let's go to the next part that I'm going to go through kind of quickly. You know, what this next part is looking at all the different reports we already have. I'm in JMC Teacher. Under reports, we got a whole bunch listed here for you. We just want teachers to know what's available to them. So I'm going to go in. It'll give a little description of each of them. If you have a question, just type it in right away. If not, it's really just a way to let people know we've got all these predetermined reports you can put in there, or you can create your own custom report as a teacher as well. Again, this saves the office admin team time because they don't need to create these reports for your teachers. All right, let's get right into it. Exploring reports in JMC Teacher. Teachers and everyone in the professional learning community need to analyze all kinds of student data to make decisions to improve student achievement. JMC specializes in data collection and reporting to provide teachers with fingertip access to all vital student information. Preview, print, and export CSV files of student progress reports, birthday lists, blank score sheets, and more with these reports in JMC Teacher. Log in JMC Teacher and click on the reports menu tree item to begin your data dig. Now, I'm going to go through these. I'm just going to read the description and just give a couple comments, and then we'll go from there. Like I said, I'm not going to go into each one. This is a high-level view so you understand, oh, these are the reports I have available as a teacher, as an educator in JMC Teacher. Progress reports. You can view and print progress reports for all selected students by class or percentage. Add customizable comments and email progress reports home to students and families right from JMC Teacher. Send progress reports to the office so the office can print out all reports without having to collect data from every teacher in class. This is, you can click on or in the assignment score screen, and I'll just show folks just to make sure everybody knows what I'm talking about. Under scores, to assignment scores, I can click on any student's name right here, and it will bring an up-to-date progress report for that individual student that I can print out, right? But if you want to do it for all the kids or most of the kids in your class, you can go under reports. Actually, let me go back to my home screen here. Under reports, progress reports, you can do an old one or you can do a new one here. And you can say, hey, I want to select all these kids, or I can do it above a percentage, below a percentage. You can add your comments. You can preview that, print it, email it if you want to there as well. So a really handy tool to do all your progress reports for many kids at one time. You can consolidate classes if you're an elementary teacher, so it'll put on the least number of pages possible as well. But it's a really great ways to be able to send lots of progress reports home to your family. And again, if you got a question, just type it in, share, you can go ahead and interrupt me. Edit comments. Utilizing predefined comments saves time when preparing to send progress reports for students. Provide that personal touch with your predefined comments by heading to the edit comments page to add, edit, and print a list of comments available for selection on the JMC teacher progress report page. So what teachers can put their own comments in, you'll see it says here, conferences next Tuesday, absent too often. Those are the ones that are listed right here when they do their own progress reports. So they can click on them and choose them by choosing a student, adding some comments in here, as many as they want. They can control click or command click if they're using a Mac or a Windows machine, and then they can do it instead of hand typing the additional comments listed there. But these comments are for progress reports. Missing scores report. The missing scores report is a handy tool that provides quick snapshot of all missing scores for a selected course or courses if you want. Quickly inform students that have missing work by printing and distributing this report with a message that includes a final due date along with the names of missing assignments. So that's pretty cool in that way. And you can also do the print one per page. If you want to give each student their own page, you sure can do that. The student summary. So the student summary is like a progress report, as you can see here, but it doesn't include any comments, right? It's just some people still just want an easy way to print out progress reports for a student with no comments. That's what this is. So want to view course grades and assignments for an individual student or multiple students? The student summary report will give you a condensed view of assignment scores and overall course grade in one spot. Choose the course, select the students, preview, and then print the report. So it's a slimmed down version. It's meant to more easily be able to do progress reports for students. The assignment summary. Want a 10,000-foot view of how the students in your class are doing with specific assignment? The assignment summary report provides overall course statistics for results for a given assignment. Place a check mark in the include grade distribution graph checkbox and view a handy bar graph that displays grade distribution. So this is where if you come in and you want to see how did everybody do on the test with the bar graph, you can come in and choose that test, include a bar graph, and preview that to see overall how they did on that test. The grade summary. This report prints student grades as of the date entered. The view and print all students with their overall grade by student number or name, sorting by ascending or descending percentage. Optionally, consolidate all the students' courses into one report to view all grades from a particular teacher there as well. The scores grid. I'll tell you what it is first. Need to print and export your gradebook? This report prints student scores in a gradebook page format, including assignments across the top and students down a column on the left. People used to print these out a lot, but we back up all the data. If you're a JMC hosted data school, it's really not a reason to print out your scores if you want to, your assignment score screen, but this is the place you can do it if you wanted to. Class assignments. Have students that need a list of all assignments in JMC with all points possible. View and print out a list of all assignments entered for a specific class. This feature is handy as an overview of all the skills or assignments covered in a class. This is probably one of our least used reports. Where would this be used most often? Maybe if a kid was sick for 2 or 3 weeks, or just joined the school and you need them to do some work and you want them to have a list of their assignments. This is what you would print out there. It's kind of gone the way, of the dodo bird, if you will. I mean, it's gone out of style just because students can go online in JMC Student and see the same information. Blank score sheets. This is popular. Print a blank gradebook page with student names and a grid view with columns and spaces to manually enter information. Blank score sheets come in handy for everything from checking out books and assigning book numbers to checking out permission slips for field trips, or just printing out a sheet and having to go if you have a fire drill or you're going on a field trip and you just want to mark off kids or whatever it might be. This just replaces that red paper grade book, right? You could have it right here. It's got all the kids listed there. So it's a handy tool people use, especially if they're going on field trips, or if you're a FIAD teacher and you want to track student skills on paper outside, you can do that. Student name and number list, need a student list in a flash. View and print a list of students in a class, including student names, student IDs, grade, advisor, and tag. Again, this is your student list. You can also use it if you want to remind kids what their lunch number is, if your school uses their student ID. That's their lunch number. Student list, don't need to talk about that one because we just talked about that one. That is your customized report in JMC Teacher. Student assessment summary report. This is not used a lot, but it can be helpful. Use the assessment report to view student performance data for certain benchmarks or standard. Utilize this information to focus your PLC meetings on specific standards and use the student achievement data to guide your conversations. Standardized tests, student standardized tests query. You can generate reports of student scores for any standardized test entered into JMC. That's the key. The office has to import those test scores or manually enter them. So from ACT scores to FAST assessments to state assessment data. Review the standardized testing data to gain a comprehensive view of student achievement. So if you say, hey, I want to see all my seniors did in their ACTs in math, this is how you could look it up. Print standards and benchmarks report cards. So complete your standards-based grading term by printing your custom standards and benchmarks report cards for your students. Select the term and print the standards and benchmark results for all or selected students on the customized standards and benchmarks report cards created in JMC Office. So if you do your standards and based report cards, typically K3, K5, whatever it might be, even K8 in some schools, you can send those grades to the office and then you can come here and print a report card. So if you want to be the teacher that gives the report card to the student, you can print these here. Most schools email them now, but if you're still one that prints them, the office can print them or you can print them right here. All right, so we'll give people a minute just to see if they have any questions in here as I go through these. I'm actually not going to go into the reports because they are straightforward. If anybody has any questions, you can type them in now. But there's one other pretty cool report we have that's not under the reports menu. A teacher has to go under File to Preferences, and you should let every teacher know this because that's pretty cool. And they should check this box that says Show Assignment Summary. It's brand new in JMC for the 22-23 school year. Show Assignment Summary. Then if we go under Scores to Assignment Scores, Scores to Assignment Scores, and I click on a particular assignment here, like this one right here, a pop-up will come in the bottom right called an assignment summary. It tells me the class mean, which is, oops, did not need to do that. There we go. 48, class median 50, class maximum 50, and the class minimum 23. This is just a great way for you to click on any assignment to see a summary of what the overall scores were for that particular assignment. So it's an in program, in scoring, right? Report that we have that comes up right as you go through that. So I have a lot of teachers tell me they use it during teacher conferences where they'll come in and they'll say, all right, we're going to show one student up here. And that one student, that parent walks up, all right, you're John McElmurray's parents or guardians. Great. Here's John McElmurray. He's getting an E, right? He's not doing very well here. Well, they're like, oh, the class is too hard. The kids are failing the test, right? Well, let's see, what test or whatever. I don't know. I'm just making this up. Of course, you click on this and be like, all right, this is what they got there, or this is what he got, So it allows you to show just that student's grades. And when you click on each one, it's going to show how they did compared to the rest of the class. Like here's when they got a 1 on it, right? All right, you got a 1, great, or a 3, or I don't know. I'm making this up here is what they've got there, but it's easy to show them there. And then when the next student comes or next parent, you can choose that next person right there and go back to show all students as well. So reporting is pretty darn straightforward in JMC, as it should be. We just wanted you to know in this webinar what is available to you. So Sherry, any questions, or should we wrap this one up?
I don't see any questions.
Well, let's wrap it up. JMC news and upcoming events. All right, come up next 4 weeks. We've got some great webinars here. Understanding GPA calculations reports. That's a great webinar. I'm excited about that next week. If you're anybody that deals with GPAs, you'll want to attend that webinar or watch it later. It's report card time about doing report cards in JMC, message center status report, and managing recurring payments in JMC family for credit card online payments. We're hiring. Want a part-time gig or the inside scoop to all things JMC? Join our team and become a part-time client service specialist. As a client service specialist, you'll develop meaningful relationships with our users through communication, training, and support. In return, we offer competitive salary and the opportunity to work remotely, but don't take our word for it. Here's a quote, Part I enjoy most about being a CSS is the constant opportunity to connect with others and to learn more every day. It's a very part-time position, but it keeps you connected to education. To apply, email your resume and a letter of introduction to hr@jmcinc.com with job application in the subject line. Our summer conferences offer a unique opportunity and they are right around the corner where JMC clients, trainers, tech support specialists, and client service specialists gather for a day of learning, sharing, planning, camaraderie, and fun. This wonderful opportunity gives us all a chance to meet face to face, to learn from each other, and prepare for the upcoming school year. Visit our Eventbrite page to secure your spot. It is the first week in August. We do it in near Des Moines and in the Twin Cities as well. Every JMC school building should send at least 1 or 2 people to this conference because you need a whole day to think about JMC and to see the new features that are being rolled out, including our updated look and feel. It's back now through March 2023. We're offering schools a discount for referring their friends. For each school you refer to JMC that signs up for our offer, we'll provide a $750 scholarship for your district. That's a pretty sweet option there. Another great way to stay up to date on all things JMC is through our social media presence. Follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and LinkedIn at OnlineJMC or our blog at jmcinc.com/news. On behalf of myself and the JMC training team and Sherry and Rachel, thanks for your time today. And thank you for choosing JMC.